Hello, welcome to K Vision Podcast. This is a podcast to listen to if you want to be energized and talk about and explore new things and new ideas. My guest today for season 2, episode 4 is Michael Mimouni. He's from Israel and he's the associate professor of cornea and director of cornea, as well as I'll let him introduce himself as well. But we are discussing to the diversity and gender bias. He's got a lot of hats to wear, and he's joining me in upcoming ESCRIS to talk about this topic of gender bias and diversity bias and how we can lead that forward. Welcome, Michael.
Hi, Tina. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So, yeah, please introduce yourself and what led you to helping us in this journey.
All right, thanks, Tina. I'm currently the chairman of the Israeli Cornea Society, the director of cornea at Rambam Healthcare Campus in Haifa, Israel, and also an associate professor at the Technion University in Haifa, Israel as well. And I mean, I it's kind of funny how I stumbled up onto this very broad topic. It actually starts with a personal story from a few years ago, sitting with one of my mentors, Dr. Noah Geffen, a
Yeah,
brilliant female clinician scientist in the field of ophthalmology. And one of the reasons I actually went into ophthalmology,
yeah,
and we were trying to think of a neat idea that we could follow through on in our field.
yeah,
And we looked at other fields, and we saw that there were some researchers looking at gender bias in dermatology.
yeah,
And we thought, hey, let's try to do this in ophthalmology and a little bit, go even larger. And we
yeah.
used some automated tools to look at, over 100,000 authors and over 20,000 papers.
Wow.
And frankly, I was very, very surprised with the results. I mean, I thought gender bias didn't exist in ophthalmology because
Yeah,
I had so many female mentors,
yeah,
but I was surprised to discover that there definitely is a glass ceiling still that
yeah,
we need to break through, and
yeah,
it probably exists, in other issues of diversity as well, not just the gender bias.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so
So
that's what got me hooked.
yeah, excellent. So thank you for sharing that personal stories. And if you talk to any of the female ophthalmologists, they will have their personal stories of where they felt their gender was an issue in terms of training or getting the opportunity for research or getting that committee membership or sit at the table. Is there anything that you can think about in terms of your female role models that did well and impacted the way you saw gender roles in ophthalmology?
Oh, wow. I mean, something that I'm very proud of when it comes to Israel is that we have so many chairs of departments, which are actually female ophthalmologists.
Oh,
I'd probably say over 50%
yeah,
of the head of departments in Israel actually are females.
amazing.
And I've seen so many amazing, I've had so many amazing female mentors, Noah Geffen, Irit Bahar, Shiri Sudri, all
Yeah,
of them just, showing that the sky's the limit when given an equal opportunity.
yeah,
And I think that that actually, relatively speaking, um, we've had a lot of success in trying to minimize the gap when it comes between men and women in ophthalmology. So I
yeah.
think we still have room to improve, but we have a lot of strong female ophthalmologists in Israel.
Excellent. So, what can we learn from those institutions that has obviously worked and worked well in terms of promoting or reducing that gap? What can we learn and share forward with others?
Well, I think you can see that, maybe some misbeliefs that, female ophthalmologists may not be able to produce or make the same attractions that male ophthalmologists can is simply not true. They
Yeah,
can definitely balance, their work-life career and be amazing moms and amazing surgeons and amazing clinicians and amazing scientists
yeah,
all together. So I think that if there are any outdated systems that are kind of worried that it will impede with what their department or clinic can achieve,
Yeah.
I think that simply proves that that's just not true at all. And this may be like a reverse bias,
Yeah.
but I've kind of feel that in a sense, and there's actually a few papers out there that have shown this. I
Yeah.
actually think that women are better surgeons than men. I have no idea why it is, but I just find that when I when I'm in the OR, I
Yeah.
just think that obviously it's a very broad and generalized statement, but there are a few papers out there that show that female surgeons had less complications and less more, mortality and morbidity than male surgeons. And that's kind of my what I've kind of noticed as well.
Oh, that's so interesting. So tell
Yeah.
us a bit more about that. Where do the papers kind of hint towards why that should be? And is it the risk-taking profile for women is different from males, or
So yeah, so these were general surgery and not specifically for ophthalmology.
yeah,
And when they tried to speculate why it is that female surgeons had less complications,
yeah,
I think they were saying that for those women to achieve the position they achieved, they
yeah,
had to work much harder. There was a much more of a filtering system until they reached that point. So you're really looking at the cream of the crop.
yeah,
And when that happens, then that then that natural process leads to them in fact being better in a sense. It's like it's a bit of a negative, right? Because they had to work harder to get to that same position. But then if they got there, then they were simply put better. Um, I also feel like
yeah,
that oftentimes in the OR, women can sort of keep their calm
yeah,
and really like analytically look at things that sometimes I feel like male surgeons may have a little bit more difficulties, maybe a little bit more ego,
yeah,
and the communication is a little bit better. But again, obviously there'll be amazing male surgeons and there'll be some female surgeons which need, a little bit more time and investment to get to different, points in their training. But
yeah.
in general, it's been shown in multiple modalities and specialties that female surgeons are not just as good as male surgeons, but perhaps even better.
That's amazing. So there are 2 points, really, isn't it? That those females who are shown to be better had to work that much harder to get to where they are, and then once they got there, obviously they are going to fare better than their colleagues who've got there a bit earlier than they would have done had they been female or males.
100%. And I mean, I see this in other minorities as well in Israel. I mean, we are a very diverse country,
Yeah,
not to go at all political, but we are a very diverse country and we have different sorts of minorities. And I
yeah,
definitely see that the minorities in our department
yeah,
they're such a blessing.
yeah,
It just makes our department so much better.
yeah,
And when they do arrive or get accepted,
yeah,
they're just amazing for the same exact reasons because they had to work so much harder with the background they had and where they came from. And
yeah,
when they're given that opportunity,
yeah,
they excel. And where I mean, one of the amazing things in our department is the huge amount of diversity. I mean, we have Jewish Israeli ophthalmologists, we have Muslim Israeli ophthalmologists, we have Christian Israeli ophthalmologists, we have Palestinian
right,
ophthalmologists.
yeah,
And it's great to have that because, first of all, each religion and, their holidays
yeah,
and the days they need to take off, right? So when you have that diversity, it actually makes the workplace so much better because you can actually balance the schedule based on the different holidays of the different religions, and everybody's very respectful of each other's religions.
yeah,
And like I said earlier, for instance, the Palestinians that are coming to our department
yeah,
are just so talented.
amazing,
And if they were able to, acquire an interview with us and get accepted into our program, then those are simply the best of the best.
yeah.
And they are absolutely brilliant. And I've been blessed to have several Palestinian fellows and several Palestinian residents, which I kind of love as my own children, so to
Wow.
speak. So yeah,
That's
so
lovely
that's
to
all.
hear. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
from thinking about my own experience because I'm of a Muslim background and I worked in NHS, and where the majority were Christians, and there would be. I remember doing most of the Christmas because I was Muslim, and then later on it was more acceptable to take off a day, and request a day off for Eid. But at the beginning it was difficult because you felt like you were not given the opportunity to celebrate your festivals, and you're always covering the other person's festival. But yeah, it's lovely to hear that you can work both ways, and you can celebrate different sections and really empower them to really lift up your clinics and your department, and that improves patient care as a whole, doesn't it?
It does because obviously we're serving a diverse population as well, right? We're serving Palestinians and we're serving, Muslim Israelis and Jewish Israelis and Christian Israelis.
Yes.
And once you have the diversity in the staff, I think that they feel more comfortable as well. Not necessarily meaning that someone expects, their own religion or ethnicity to treat them, but once they view them as part of the staff, then that automatically makes them feel more comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Just knowing that, they're not the like odd person out in the room, so to speak, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
You have
I
visibility of different faction and sections to be accepted, isn't it?
exactly,
You can't trust what you can't see, isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah. And in terms of your own journey, training and becoming a professor or assistant professor, has there been stumbling blocks for you as a male trainee, or have you seen other female trainees have obstacles in career path?
Okay, I intentionally froze for a few seconds because I just realized I need to click on the power from my laptop. And I
No,
wanted to give you a chance if you needed to just have that option to like edit at that one point. Okay, so
yeah,
now I'm back with you.
no,
Um, so you're asking is male ophthalmologist not specifically in my country, I'm not necessarily a minority. You're asking if I felt that I had my own issues?
yes, yeah,
Um, that's a very good question. I mean, I guess, there used to be a little bit of a difference between like Sephardic Jews and Ashkenazi Jews in Israel, like the Sephardic Jews being a little bit, darker, and the
right,
Ashkenazi Jews being a little bit, lighter, like more like blonde,
yeah,
blue-eyed, etc. And
right,
the Sephardic Jews, such as myself, my grandparents were born in Algeria,
uh-huh,
so I belong to the Sephardic Jews, which tend to be a little bit darker.
yeah,
Um, but to be honest, I think in the last 20, 30 years in Israel, it's completely changed, and I've not felt that I was not treated fairly at any time or point in my career.
excellent,
Uh, in specifically in Israel, I've had, excellent training. I've never felt like I had something specifically targeting me because of my ethnicity or background. I was
excellent.
very fortunate to train in Toronto during my fellowship,
Oh yeah,
where diversity is something which is, very important. Canada and specifically Toronto did an excellent job in making me feel home, and I had excellent mentors, both
yeah,
female and male mentors.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I've been very fortunate to not encounter uh, any negative issues in that regard.
Excellent. Yeah. And do you find that most of your mentors or mentees or your colleagues are aware of unconscious bias or things that that will crop up in terms of their decision making based on those unconscious bias?
I think it's something that's improved over the years.
Yeah.
There's definitely room to improve.
Yeah.
But for instance, in our hospital, we have a committee that looks at the residents being accepted.
Yeah.
And if they feel that there's a trend towards either not enough female representation
Yeah.
or not enough minority representation, they will comment on that. And
Okay.
our department is very aware of this. We always look at the diversity of our department and
Hmm.
try to see, hey, are there a little bit, too many men? Are there a little bit, too many Jewish Israelis here? Do we need to, try to mix it up a bit? And
Yeah.
we definitely do take that into account just because of all the benefits I mentioned earlier we're
Yeah.
treating a diverse population. It's very helpful to have a diverse representation as well.
Yeah.
And it just really improves our department overall. So, I mean, it's something we're aware of, but it's definitely maybe in like the, so to speak, in the minor scenarios, we may need to improve with, the microaggressions, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where I think that, most of us as human beings, and specifically us in our department,
Mm,
need to be a little bit more thoughtful and think about these points.
yeah.
But when we're looking at like the bigger strategic plan, we do take that into account for sure.
Excellent. Because, 95% of our actions happen, they originate from our subconscious. So, everything we visualize, everything we use our senses for are informed by what we're familiar with. So, if we're not familiar with a diverse community, that's where our biases will be. So, and that affects everyone, not just yourself and your patients. So, in terms of some people really think of diversity and meritocracy as mutually exclusive. Well, do you have any opinion on that, or anything that you've come across that other people have expressed to you?
So, obviously that's a hot, topic, debate, meritocracy, so to
Yeah,
speak, versus diversity.
yeah,
And I think, in the end, you're looking like everything in life. You're looking at a healthy mix and a combination of the two, right? You're not going to recruit, whether it's a nurse, physician,
yeah,
PhD lab. You're not going to recruit them, so to speak, just because of their background or
yeah,
their ethnicity, right?
yeah,
You want a nice, healthy mix.
yeah,
So, if you're looking at two equal candidates and they both seem like they could do great on your team,
yeah,
and you realize, hey, we've got way too many men that we've recruited recently, we definitely should balance it out. I think it makes sense, in such an instance, to definitely recruit, a non-male in that scenario.
yeah,
Uh, Whereas, if you're going to have obviously two candidates and one is way better than the other, and you do not think that that other candidate will
yeah,
be able to catch up,
yeah,
right?
mm,
Then you're obviously going to aim a little bit more towards the meritocracy in that scenario.
yeah,
But I've not, when you just start to be aware of it
yeah,
and you're constantly aiming for a healthy balance,
mhm,
it becomes like a non-issue. You no longer think about that, right? You suddenly there are amazing candidates of different
everyone,
backgrounds and ethnicities, and you no longer have an issue of meritocracy, right? Because once that candidate knows that your department gives equal opportunity to everyone, then you suddenly have, you have a plethora of females applying and minorities applying, and then you've got no issue with meritocracy anymore.
ex-
Um,
yeah. And that's how
yeah,
it
I
is,
think,
isn't it? Because they are mutually inclusive. They don't have to be
yeah,
mutually exclusive. So
exactly.
looking at the future and our upcoming course in SCRIS, why do we're going to be posting this on our social and LinkedIn, and there's going to be 15,000 ophthalmologists and other professionals attending. Why should they come to our course on the Monday when we talk from 8:30 to 10:30?
Well, first of all, because you organized it, so it's going to be great. And because I think we have a good mix of speakers with different backgrounds who can, shine a light on this topic from different angles.
Yeah,
And I think we put a lot of thought into making it, interesting
yeah,
and for the crowd to get a bit involved as well.
yes.
So I think if some of the potential crowd may be rolling their eyes and saying, "Oh, this is another, diversity session." So this isn't going to be your average diversity session. We
Yeah,
thought about that. We want you guys smiling and enjoying yourselves.
yeah,
And so it's going to be very informative on one hand, but it's not going to be too heavy on the other.
yeah,
So we probably get a few laughs out of you as well.
yeah.
So I really suggest that anybody listening come and see us and enjoy the session.
Excellent. And we want to start a movement. We want to start this movement where people are aware of their subconscious bias and, gender bias and all the important topics that makes us us and, improves our patient care at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and I'm really happy to be a part of it as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Michael. Thanks for being a part of this show, and hopefully we'll reach as many people as we can, and we'll start this movement in Eskris.
Thank you, Tina.
All right. You take care. Have a lovely day. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye bye.